Well, hello there. How to get into the moment. Thank you for buying this class. I promise you, after today, your life won't be the same. I'm going to share with you why my life was never the same after my experiences. I learned how to get into the moment. I really understood what the moment was. It was a big deal. Now I'm able to get into the moment with little to no ease. So, what is the moment? The moment is all around us. Have you ever been just drawing something or maybe just in your zone? What do you do for a living? I guarantee you, when you're doing what you know how to do very well, you're unconsciously competent at what you do, aren't you? And matter of fact, you don't even have to think about what you do. Your mind could be just wandering off, or maybe you can just be in the moment. You could be in the now. You can be just there. That's what the moment is. The moment is when you're focused on what's all around you. You're focused on the sound of my voice. You're focused on what you're sitting around. You're focused on your breath. Sure, you might be distracted momentarily by cars driving by or by a momentary drive-by thought, but ultimately you go back to your breath and you're here. You're now. That's what the moment is for me. Why is the moment so important? Well, in order to combat stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, all that's not serving you, you have to get into the moment, to get away from these vibrations. These are low vibrations. You might be wondering what a vibration is. Let me try to explain. A vibration is something you feel. If you feel great, it's a high vibration. If you feel crummy, maybe you feel jealous or mad or sad or angry or confused, these are lower vibrational thoughts. You ever have anybody that's angry, or maybe you get a phone call from somebody and you look at the phone call and your heart closes? It's a low vibration. And you go, I'm not going to answer that. Maybe you're not going to answer because you don't want your vibration to be lowered. Conversely, if you get a phone call from someone that you're like excited to hear their voice, you answer it because it's a high vibrational thought. So that leads us to the how. How do we get into the moment? Well, I'd like to share a story with you. Um, you might have read the description of this video. I'm going to talk about a story of a life experience that I've had. And I have a dear friend, very dear friend. He called me up one day and he said, Bro, would you mind driving me to the woods? I said, sure, I'd love to take you to the woods. What's going on? He's all, I'm getting dropped off for a silent retreat. It was this optional silent retreat. That means that if you'd like, you can be silent for 5 days. So I said, sure, I'd love to drop you off. So I pick him up and I drive him a couple hours into the woods. And there's this quaint little, it was like a group of houses connected. It was almost like a vacation looking place, but it was in the woods. And it was very older style. I think it used to be like a Catholic church where people room and boarded. And the weirdest thing happened when I got there. I felt a strong pull into the moment, and I didn't fully understand what it was. So I dropped him off and I was walking around, and my friend looked at me. He said, Mike, would you like to stay? And I thought to myself, No way. I've got to work. I've got so many things going on. There's no possible way that I could take this time off. All these things in my mind. I've got a job tomorrow. I've got 3 jobs the next day, and then 4 days after that, I'm just swamped, completely busy. My phone was ringing probably right then. But I said, yes, yes, I will like to stay. It's like $2,000 to stay. And I thought to myself, I don't have any money. But I did just get a credit card in the mail. I haven't activated it yet. It was in my pocket. I thought to myself, I'm going to max this thing out. I'm staying. I'm going to meet this spiritual teacher. So I called the credit card company and they asked me for a password. Now, just to give you all a little bit of inside information on me, passwords are my bane of existence. Nothing gets me going like the wrong password. Sorry, password incorrect. I go, stay in the moment, Mike. Stay in the moment. And I sometimes get worked up because I'm human. We all get worked up. I'm not gonna lie and sit here. Then I'm not gonna tell you that I float on lilies all day long and sit Indian style and chant, and my food is just presented to me from the universe. I'm human, just like you. What I've learned is I have tools and techniques to help me ease my stress and anxiety and help me live a better lifestyle. And that's what I want to share with you. What I did was I relaxed and I was able to recall these passwords. They relinquished the money to me. I went ahead and maxed out my credit card and I stayed. I stayed 5 days in an optional silent retreat, and it was profound what I discovered about myself. So I'll get right into it. I met a spiritual teacher. Her name was Gangaji. And Gangaji's message is stop. Just stop. And people would go up and they would speak to her. And people would say, Gangaji, you're great and your message is great and I'm learning so much and life is awesome, but here's my suffering. Here's my pain. And it was a lot. It was a lot to bear. After 2 days of this, it was so much to bear that it's kind of hard for me to tell a story because I don't talk about this. I don't talk about this. So I'm sharing with you. What happened was I broke down in tears in front of everybody. I started weeping uncontrollably because I felt the world's suffering. I felt it in my heart, and I was just distraught beyond measure. We walk around the day and we see people and we say, "Hi, how you doing?" And they go, "Oh, I'm great." Well, not here. Everybody was not great. That's because people are walking around with suffering and they're lying. Because it's easier just to say, "Yeah, I'm doing great," than it is to say, "You know what? No, I'm having a hard time." Society's not really built for that. I went silent for 3 days. And you know what? The weirdest thing happened. The group, they weren't really too thrilled about me. They thought I was some sort of glory hopper. They thought I was just there to steal the show or something. But I wasn't really concerned about what they thought about me. I was silent. Because the world's suffering was too much for me to bear, and there was no words that I knew. I couldn't talk myself out of it. My friend is a very wise man. Very wise man. He went silent too in respect of what I was going through. So we both went silent for 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, in silence, my pen found paper. And I don't mean to sound too cryptic here, but this wasn't me. My pen wrote this poem for the group. And I want to share that poem with you. But before I share the poem with you, let me give you a little context. After the first night of the retreat, my friend and I said, you know what? We thought that we were going to enter this retreat and meet people that were enlightened, but that's not what we met. We met people full of ego. I met a man on his cell phone in the silent area. He was like, yeah, I've been a silent retreater for 40 years. I know everything, you know nothing, sort of thing. And my friend and I were flabbergasted. How could this be? This was a spiritual silent retreat. This was a place where you'd found enlightenment. We found ego, big time. And we were disappointed. It's like if you go to a basketball game and you see fans on the court. You're like, where's the professionals? We come to see professionals. So anyways, we left that night. We went to the gym. We went to the gym and worked out. And who do we find at the gym? We found this man in a wheelchair. His name was Terry. And Terry said that he had died and he came back to life. And Terry was such a pleasant man. He told us a few kind of funny jokes, and they eased us into the moment. The moment is the now. The moment is when you don't really think about too much that's going on in your mind, and you focus on what is right in front of you. Like the sound of my voice, or your heartbeat. The moment. So he's in the poem, and he's a hoot. So I just want to explain that to you. Okay, so without further ado, I really want to share this poem with you. Here it goes. Last night we met a man who said he'd been to heaven. He was wheelchair bound and wore not a smile nor a frown, but told us jokes to ease us into the moment. The man extended his hand to try to help me understand what lie ahead in his heavenly fortress. He didn't speak of glitter nor gold, or all the promises sold to me as a young boy, too young to hear it. You see, far, far above there's this kingdom of love, and it feels like this handshake in the now. A time before the shattering, he was avoided at the gatherings. They said he was a mean old man. But now there's just a sigh, no longer asking why, the negativity lying on his heart. I see faces here, across the world and the nation, who seek for lack of devastation, to end this feeling of flat, crush, dense feeling in their heart and chest. But now I understand our tribulation, because once on a different station, we were young schoolboys and schoolgirls with the red ink in our test papers for getting it wrong. But we don't have to get it right, because what won't happen overnight is the undoing of our mind's programming is ultimately inevitable. I'm not leaving you, Mommy. Forever burned into my soul. It's true. No matter how bad your soul's black and blue, love is our glue. It'll never leave you. You feel it? That's love. Why should it go away? It won't, but we cover it. That's the mind getting its way. Before we departed with our goodbyes, Terry asked me to close my eyes. He said, that's how fast it's over. His message was love. Much to my surprise, to see the twinkling of his eyes again as he passed us in the parking lot. My friend said, nice chair, and without a moment to spare, he whipped around and said, thanks. It'll do 70 miles an hour in the back of a pickup truck. The end. Friends, the moment is all around you. Live it. You deserve to be there. love can be found in the moment. And what a lovely moment this is to be sharing with all of you, with you especially. You are a very unique individual. You are more complicated than the entire universe. It's true. Very true. Here we are. As you get more honed in your skills, you're going to be able to decipher what's high vibration and what's low vibration by being in the moment, by asking your heart what phone calls to answer, and what thoughts you allow into your consciousness. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to get out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down a few things that you can do throughout your day to find time to ease yourself into the moment. It could be just a few minutes a day. In the morning when you wake up, I want you to write down the first 15 minutes of your day, what you thought about, what you did. This will be a running log for the next week. What I do is I start my day with appreciation. Your brain vibrates at different levels. And the faster it vibrates, the more thoughts go through. So what you want to do is you want to slow down that vibration in the morning time. Give yourself a chance to just wake up without being bombarded with Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and all the things, your email box, your text messages. That'll come. But let it come on your terms. Start your day with gratitude. Spend just 15 minutes out of your 24-hour day. Spend just a few minutes saying, you know what? What can I be grateful for today? It doesn't matter if you're broke or a billionaire. The sky's blue. And if you can see it, what a gift that is. People they can't see, what can you be thankful for? Wow, I can hear this message. Wow, I can feel my heartbeat. Wow, I can be in the moment too. Let's recap on the moment, shall we? To be in the moment, you need but notice a few things around you. Notice it. Notice some more things about it. Breathe. Breathe like it's a cocktail of now. Fresh air is, we take advantage of fresh air. Right now in California, there's a lot of fires going on. And we happen to have fresh air right now. And it is phenomenal. It's great. And I'm definitely not going to take take it for granted. It's just fresh air. I'm sitting here in the vehicle. I think I do my best thinking in the vehicle. So, what are some things you could be thankful for? Write them down. They're simple things. I'll see you guys in the next one.